Hello. Do you want to know random facts about a girl that you've been following on YouTube for 1 month? Well, you're in the right place. I feel like usually people with a lot more subscribers do these kind of videos, but I have answers to questions too. So, the air conditioning just kicked on. I wonder if you can hear that. Pretty loud, but it's also pretty freaking hot in here. It's gonna be like 80 tomorrow here in Northern California, NorCal, as us locals say. Just kidding. I'm from Ohio. Nobody asked that question, but there's a question that has already been answered. What a great start. I haven't uploaded a video in quite a while. It's been like 4 weeks now, I think, which is no good because I really wanted to be consistent on this channel. I just have been starting projects that seem to take forever. Like, I think that I can do it in a day and then it takes me like a week. That's become a theme that you will see in my upcoming videos. But I am almost finished with one right now and I'm crocheting the last piece of it. So I figured, why not kill two birds with one stone and somewhat entertain myself, because I'm just like going crazy staring at the wall crocheting this for 6 days now. It's all I've done for like 6 days. So I took the couch cushion off the chase part of our couch and I set up a faux background so that there was some entertainment to look at on the wall. So I asked my Instagram followers to ask me some questions and I got a few, so I guess I'm just gonna sit here and crochet this mystery item that you will see in my next video and answer them. The first question is, what advice would you give to your younger self? Good question. So I'm almost 35. I'll be 35 in October. What advice would I give to my younger self? Girlfriend, wear t-shirts. You don't have to wear hoodies in 95-degree summer weather. Your arms look fine. Nobody cares. Everybody knows that you're fat. You wearing a hoodie and cooking alive doesn't do anything for anybody. So you're beautiful, you're fine, just wear a t-shirt. And kind of along the same lines, just be you, you know? You is the coolest person that you can be, which is a really bad grammar. Wow. I feel like it took me a long time. Like, I feel like I didn't really realize this until I was in my 30s, but you are like truly the coolest person that you can be. And if you are authentically you, you'll be the happiest. Also, I would tell my younger self to never, under any circumstances, go into the medical field. That's just specifically for me. There are lots of wonderful people who are in the medical field and do a wonderful job, and we need people like that. I was not cut out for that, and it almost ruined my life, but that's a question for another day. You wanna sit with me? Or do you want to crochet? Okay, the next question is, as a child, what did you want to be when you grew up? I wanted to be a singer. That was always my dream. Or a vet, which, like I just said, I really regret ever working in the medical field, so I certainly would have regretted working in the veterinary field because, honestly, animals over humans. I don't think I would have had it in me to be a vet. But I have always really loved animals, so I definitely wanted to be a vet, or I wanted to be Britney Spears. Yeah. And then as I got a little older, I guess this is still a child, when I was in high school, I loved making jewelry. I started making like beaded jewelry, and I wanted to be a jewelry maker, and I am. So go me. Next question is, what is your process of creation like? I have that like aphantasia thing where you can't like imagine things in your mind. Like if you close your eyes and think apple, you can't really see an apple, you just kind of talk to yourself in your head. So I have a really hard time like with jewelry thinking about what I want to make and like drawing it out and like envisioning it in my mind. I like cannot do that. I have to just start working. Like I'll get an idea and I'll talk it through in my head and I'll be like, okay, so I could do this and I could attach this and this stone and blah blah blah, but I like can't see it come to life in my mind. So I just sit down and start working, and a lot of the time that means soldering things together and then realizing that that doesn't work and unsoldering them, and I have to like figure things out tangibly, like on the fly, which I guess kind of sucks. Like I probably would save myself some time if I could just do that in my head before I did it in real life. But okay, the next question is, what does the best day ever look like? This one I've been trying to think about, because that's a hard question. The best day ever. I am a person who is very anxious, if you don't know that about me, and I have a lot of agoraphobia. And when I think of the best day ever, I think of like pre-anxiety days when I could just like go out and drive myself somewhere, or like go somewhere and not have to think about it. So I think the best day ever just looks like peace, you know? Peace of mind and like nature and good food and good people, like a long road trip with some beautiful scenery. I love a road trip. I don't know, that is a hard one. Just beautiful, beautiful stuff all around me. Sounds like the best day ever, which I know is such a stupid, cheesy answer. But honestly, I think that peace of mind is like taken for granted, and just a peaceful, beautiful day sounds so nice. Okay. Moving on. Next question. What excites you the most? A food, craft, project, scenery, etc. Something that I really love about living in California is being so close to the ocean. The ocean excites me very much. As far as scenery, like I said, I'm from Ohio, so the closest beach to me back home for like the first 30 years of my life was like a 14-hour drive. And now we can go to the beach within like 2.5 hours. So that's really, really cool and really exciting to me. I also get really excited when I have a good idea for something creative, like a really like unique piece of jewelry, or a unique idea for like a YouTube video or something. I get like super excited about that, and I'm always like searching my brain for those ideas, and when you actually like come up with one, that's a really exciting feeling. So maybe if I could have a big brain idea while sitting on the beach eating mashed potatoes, that sounds ideal. That might be my perfect day. This next one is like a multi-question question. So first, what is your go-to T-Bell order? I always get a Crunch Wrap without fail, but everything I get from Taco Bell is always vegetarian. I don't really eat meat that often in general. I sometimes will eat chicken, but I'm very picky about it, and I would never eat like processed Taco Bell chicken. So I always do sub refried beans for meat, and I get a Crunch Wrap with no nacho cheese, sub shredded cheese. And I add potatoes, rice, I take off the tomatoes, and I think that's it. I leave everything else on. A lot of the times also I'll get a power bowl. I really like the power bowls, and I will do like double beans on. I'll do like refried beans and black beans. Oh, and then I also really like to get a Doritos Locos Taco, sub refried beans for beef, and then I add rice and potatoes and the avocado ranch sauce. Hella good. Okay, next. How'd you start crocheting / smithing? Actually, around the same time, I think. I learned to crochet from my mom. I remember her, oh no, I'm out of red. I thought I could make it the rest of this row. Okay, I'm gonna frog this. I'm gonna switch to this mustardy yellow. So yeah, I remember sitting on the couch with my mom when I was like 16 or something like that, and her teaching me how to crochet. And I feel like I sucked at crocheting for like a long time. I remember obviously when I first learned, I could only do like a washcloth, and then I wasn't like super into crocheting until relatively recently. For years I would like try to make things like a tank top or kind of a complicated scarf or something, and I would never finish them. Like I have so many like half crocheted shirts and stuff from years ago, and I feel like until I crocheted that dress for the Ren Fair, I couldn't make myself like finish a project or figure out how to make patterns and stuff on my own. I like couldn't wrap my brain around it, but once I crocheted that really complicated project, now I like can understand how to do things in my head and make my own patterns and stuff, which has been fun. And I also have like gained the discipline to sit down and make a project that is gonna take me a million years. Sorry, that was probably a longer answer than you wanted. But how did I get started with smithing? Like I said a little bit earlier, I started beading in high school, and I really loved beading, and I thought that I was the coolest bitch ever, even though I was making really horrible shit that was like painful to wear because it was pokey and whatever. But I thought that it was so cool to be like creative with jewelry. And I remember I used to like use peacock feathers and shit. And then maybe around like 18 or 19, I started learning how to metal stamp like letters on metal. I would just use aluminum and I would stamp like little inspirational quotes and put them on like a beaded necklace as a charm. And then I saved up and I ended up going to this jeweler's school in Ohio called Drew Hard. It was like a week-long course and you learned how to like bezel set and make ring bands and prong set and all kinds of stuff. And it was so much fun, and I knew from then on, like, I have to be a metalsmith. This is what I want to do with my life. Also completely unrelated, but during my time at Drew Hard, I took one of my favorite pictures that I've ever taken. I would get Burger King every single day for lunch because it was like right next to the school. And I was sitting there eating one day and this little bird kept coming over to my car. So I put a French fry out on my rear view mirror, or wait, is that what those are called? I haven't driven in so long. What are those called? Side mirrors? I put a French fry on my side mirror, whatever, the mirror that sticks out of the side of your car. And this bird came over and took the fucking French fry and he flew away with it. And I took a picture of him right as he's flying away. If I can find the picture, I'll insert it. But it made me laugh so hard and I still think about that bird. But anyway, I went to Drew Hard, I learned how to metalsmith, and then I just kind of like did my own thing in my mom's garage for many, many years. And then I got a job at Jared, the Gallery of Jewelry. I worked there for a couple years as like a diamond setter slash repair jeweler, which was really fun. And then I got panic attack problems and I had to quit. So I said, all right, I guess I'm just doing my own jewelry thing, and that's what I've been doing for like the past 7 years now. Favorite book? That's a good question. I don't really read that often, and I wish I did, but I don't. One of my favorite books, I think, definitely is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I think he is just very wise, and that book is a book that I have read slash listened to many, many, many times, and it always really helps me. If you are into self-help, things that are maybe a little bit woo-woo, and no, I do think that his teachings are very helpful. Yeah, honestly, I don't have a good answer for this. I should read more. So leave me recommendations of your favorite book in the comments if you have watched this video to this point, which maybe there's 2 people, so hello guys. What's your favorite book? And last question of this question set, Desert Island Essentials. I would be lying if I said that I didn't read that as Desert Island Essentials, and I was thinking in my head, what kind of desserts would I want to eat on a desert island? Well, I don't think I could survive without my boyfriend and my cats, so I would like them on the desert island with me. They are essential to my function. Also, I guess probably some yarn in like an airtight waterproof container so that I have something to do. And honestly, if I don't have popcorners on that desert island, put me out of my misery. I don't know, what's a normal answer? Like a knife, maybe some drinkable water, maybe a fire starter? No. Cats, boyfriend, yarn, popcorners. Okay, there are a few more. What was the first crochet project you ever made? I think the like very first one was like a washcloth or just like a general square. But the first actual like garment of something to put on my body was, I believe, a headband with a little flower on it, and I thought that it was so cool. I was like so impressed with myself. Do you have a tattoo? I do have 3 tattoos. I do not like any of my tattoos. I wish I had more, and I wish I had them everywhere, and I would love to have really colorful traditional style tattoos. That's always been my dream. If I had money, I would be covered in really colorful, beautiful traditional style tattoos. But alas, I do not have money. I just have, this is probably the most unflattering thing you've ever seen. I have these 2 on the back of my ankle. They're for 2 of my friends that died. It's really depressing. And I don't regret, obviously, memorializing my friends, but I think the tattoos are ugly. How am I gonna show this one? And then I have one, my leg don't bend like that. And then I have one on this ankle also that says Aspire. I'll insert a picture or something because I'm not trying to contort myself. I was really young when I got all of these tattoos, and I hate the Aspire tattoo. I hate the font. I just knew that I liked that word, and so I went into the place and I was like, you pick the font. And I don't know why this man gave me the Aladdin font, but it's so ugly. And I would love to get all of them covered up sometime. Maybe the ones for my friends, like covered up with some kind of like forget-me-not flower or something that like would still honor them, but would not be ugly. Can rings from you be resized? Current weight loss equals shrinking ring sizes. So yes, I do charge for that because it's a lot of work, but the amount of work depends on what kind of ring it is. So if it's just a ring with no stone, like just a silver, like an OK ring or like a stamped band, that is really easy to resize. A ring with a stone or with several stones is going to be more complicated. The only gemstones that can take heat, which means like can be anywhere near a flame, are diamonds, rubies, and sapphires. Everything else is going to burn to an absolute crisp if it's anywhere near your torch. And I don't usually work with rubies, diamonds, or sapphires, so any stone that I have worked with probably would have to be removed from the ring, which is kind of a risky situation. 99% of the time I'm going to have to remake the bezel, which is that metal that like holds the stone, because when you pry that metal away from the stone to take it out, it usually gets ruined. It's like very, very soft and thin metal. So that entire stone setting is gonna have to be rebuilt. So yeah, maybe a more in-depth answer than anyone needed, but yes, I can resize. Like I said, I did work at Jared. I was a repair jeweler, so I did a lot of sizing there, and sizing is fun for me sometimes, but it is a lot of work. You have to basically remake the ring and repolish it and everything. So there's a little bit of a cost involved. I think there were a couple more. Let's see. Favorite yarn? Well, I don't know. I mean, I really like the Red Heart Super Savers, which is this that I'm using right now. The thing that I don't like about this is I feel like every color is like so different in the way that it feels and like the thickness of it. Like even just these two, this red is like very coarse and this yellow is very soft, but they're the exact same yarn. I like them because they come in a lot of colors. You get a lot of yarn for very cheap, and usually I don't really give a fuck like if it's acrylic, if it's cotton, I don't care. I don't think I really crochet enough to have that much of an opinion that anybody should take and use in their own lives. I kind of more crochet for like fun and for costumey reasons, more so than like actual garments that you would want to wear on a regular basis and wash and whatever. So I don't know. I use a lot of Red Heart Super Saver. But is it a good yarn? No, probably not. Oh, you know what? Actually, one of my favorite yarns is this yarn that I used a lot during the winter time to make these little cowls. I actually came up with this pattern and I thought it was so cute. And I meant to take orders and make more of them, but I just didn't because I suck at life. But it's Big Twist Hush yarn, and it is legitimately the softest yarn I've ever felt. It's 100% polyester, I believe, but it is buttery soft and beautiful and thick and quick and cheap. And I think Big Twist is woman-owned, which is nice. Okay, and our last question of the day is, what is your favorite food? And I kind of alluded to this a little bit earlier, but my favorite food of all time is mashed potatoes and gravy. Especially my mom's. She adds everything that is delicious and horrible for you, like 12 sticks of butter and coffee creamer. They're just delicious though. They're like the best mashed potatoes ever. And one time for Valentine's Day, my super sweet boyfriend took me on an adventure to a little oceanside mashed potatoes in a cone stand or restaurant, and those were delicious, and they were in like a savory waffle cone. That might have been the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. Okay, well, I didn't get that much done, but thanks for hanging out with me. I did have fun. Now I gotta put my couch back together. Let me know down below if you have any other questions about me. I don't know why you would care, but hopefully you had like some fun. Hopefully you were crocheting or something and we were just hanging out. I like to watch Q&A videos of other crafty people when I'm just doing my own craft. So hopefully that was a good time for everybody. Stay tuned for this mystery video, which is coming very soon. It's just silly and fun, but I think you'll like it. So subscribe!